All right, people, this is Mr. Right here with lesson 4.5 for the trumpet, which is actually a review of lesson 3, where we used just the mouthpiece. But now we're using the fully assembled trumpet and that we covered in lesson 4. Now, we're starting off with a whole note for 4 beats of sound, followed by a whole note rest for 4 beats of silence. Notice this whole note takes up the whole measure. This whole note rest takes up the whole measure here. 4 beats of sound, 4 beats of silence. Then we'll get this upper G by firming up our lips up against the teeth, not mashing our lips together. No, no, no. We're going to firm our lips up against the teeth to create a smaller, tighter buzzing surface right there to create the pitch go up. We'll also arc the back of our tongue and send faster air over that arced tongue to get that higher wind speed, which will cause the lip to buzz faster as well. So we got 4 beats of sound, 4 beats of silence, and so we're going to start off with kind of relaxed lips here on this low C right here. No vowels. We won't be using any vowels for this exercise. So here we go. I'm going to start the metronome. I've got my metronome set at 90 beats per minute. So here's number 1. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So that's number 1. Now going on to number 2, we start off again with a whole note C, and 4 beats of sound. But now we're going to just cut that in half and create 2 half notes. Notice it's still empty on the inside, but now it's got this stem, making this a half note, half as long as a whole note. Now they only receive 2 beats of sound per note. I'm going to use my tongue to begin each one. I'm going to keep the air flowing constantly, like I'm just interrupting that constant airstream with the tongue. So the only reason this note stops is because this note begins. So you just want to pop that air. You're just going two, two, two as you're playing. And of course, we firm up our lips up against the teeth to play this upper G. So I'm going to keep the air just flowing. I might have to take a breath somewhere, maybe not. So we're going to see number 2. And again, you want to have 2/3 of the bottom lip in the mouthpiece, only 1/3 of the top lip in the mouthpiece for trumpet players. So here's number 2. 1, 2, 3. Right, that was number 2. And then we have a half note followed by a half note rest. 2 beats of sound, 2 beats of silence. A half note rest. You might say, well, how do I tell the difference between a half note rest and a whole note rest? Well, you don't really need to know, because you'll notice that this half note rest only takes up half the measure. This whole note rest takes up the whole measure. But or you can say, you see how this is hanging from that second line from the top, and this is sitting on top of the line below it, the middle line. So that's the difference there if you really want to know. But you can kind of just look at the measure and just see, oh, it's only taking up half the measure. It must be a half note rest. So that's the way I kind of think of it. Anyway, let's do number 3 now. Let me get the metronome going. And 1, 2, 3. Now, in between these, I'm not going to, you don't want to do that. Just leave everything set, very still. You don't want to move your jaw as you're playing. You don't want to go twa. When we talk, we move our jaw. It's a normal thing to do. But when you play an instrument, any instrument, you leave that jaw very, very still, because if you move that, you're shifting the foundation of your tonal basis. You don't want to do that. You want to keep it nice and still so that it's da. You get these solid tones, which will sound really, really nice. Number 4 right here, half note, rest, rest. 1, 2, 3. Some of the same stuff, half notes, half note rest. Just a different variation right here to kind of train us here. So here's number 4. And spreading my teeth and lips apart. You'll see me sometimes just kind of poke my tongue through my lips to spread them out. That's all I'm doing. I don't start the note by doing that. I'm just basically using my tongue sometimes to make sure my lips are spread apart far enough so they'll have room to vibrate inside the mouthpiece. So you'll see me pull my lips apart. Got these big old lips. Okay, here's number 4. Cool. And then number 5 right here. Quarter notes, they get 1 beat apiece. So it's ta, 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 ta. Then we have 4 quarter note rest, 1 beat of silence for each. So it's 1 beat apiece for these quarter notes. Notice they're solid on the inside now, whereas the half notes are empty, but these are solid. So 1 beat apiece, 1 beat of sound apiece, then followed by quarter note rest. Normally you won't see this written this way. You'll just see a whole note rest written there. But I wrote that just to kind of give you the idea that these are the opposite of these guys right here. Quarter notes, quarter note rest. And a lot of times you'll see, like down here, you'll see just 1 quarter note rest all by itself, but you won't see them usually in groups of 2 or 3 or 4. So here we go. Here's number 5. 2, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now, as I play these, I didn't go to. No, don't move the jaw, don't move anything. Just keep it all still. The only thing that's moving is the tongue inside of your mouth, right? And as I went for this upper G right here, again, faster air over an arched tongue causes the lips to buzz faster because the air is moving faster. And second of all, I'm firming up my lips like, ooh, I'm tightening all this up right here, making my lips and hard right there and firming them up against the fretboard of my teeth, making that vibrating surface much shorter. All right. So number 6, we have a whole note, and I like to kind of drive this whole note into these half notes right here. So I'm going to go ta, 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 etc. And I want to try to play this all in one breath. This is 4 measures right here. They're also called bars. So this is like what they call a 4-bar phrase. When we speak, we don't talk in small fragment. We say things in just one sentence, one phrase. And that's the way we want to speak in music as well. So let's play this phrase right here, this 4-bar phrase. So if you have to take a breath, you take about right there, but you wouldn't take it, anywhere else, hopefully. And 1, 2, 3. Now, this is a small little tube here that air's going through, so I didn't need to take a breath, but you might need to, and that's okay. Number 7, we got 2 quarter notes and a quarter note rest, 2 beats right here, and then we rest for 1 beat on beat 3. So you need to be counting in your mind as you're playing this, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. That's what needs to be taking place in your mind. So let's play number 7. 1, 2. Right, and then number 8, just another variation, just different patterns going on here. Number 8. 1, 1, 2. 2, 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. Right? And notice that little rest right there. It catches a lot of people. All right. So that should get you started on lesson 4.5 for the trumpet.